Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, that is a dub! If that game does not get you hype for the regular season, I don't know what will. That game was intense. It was exciting. It had star power. It had the Czech-Mate line. That was a lot of fun. But you know what? What it really did is it sucked me in. Like actually sucked me in. The preseason, as far as it goes with games, I care about them. I cover all of them. I watch all of them. I overreact to all of them. But I never really give a shit about the wins or losses of preseason. Why would you, right? They don't actually matter in the grand scheme of anything. But when the Rangers went up 3-1, spoiler alert, I was like, all right, whatever. Cool. Let's just see how the individual play goes. And then when we tied it up in the second, I cared. Like, I was sitting there going, we gotta win this one, right? We gotta win this one. The Krejci line looks awesome. We're doing the right stuff. It's wild. It's crazy. Swayman's making big saves. He didn't have the best game he's ever had for sure, but he was in there. We had to win that one. And we did, and it didn't matter. The score didn't matter, but it just felt like a win, you know? It felt like a win! The Bruins are back, baby! The Bruins are so back. They're so back! I mean, they're back! This was an awesome game. I had so much fun, and if you missed out, I'm sorry. I mean, you'll get to see plenty of them, but this was just an awesome game. Swayman gets to start in the net. Lysell is already back in, which is surprising to see. The third line is going to have Beecher and Lauko with Lysell. We'll talk. We get the full Czech line. Now, because Hall is week to week right now, it made sense to me that they wanted to see Zacha, Krejci, and Pastrnak. This is the first time we've seen Pastrnak this preseason. None of us were worried about him. Had he not played the preseason, none of us would have been like, well, I don't know. Pasta didn't get any game time before that. You know Pasta. Pasta, if Pasta's media team was different, he'd be a Phil Kessel. Not in the sense that he's as bad defensively or anything, but he just gets on the ice and has so much fun and scores goals. Like, that's what he does. That's what he does. And that's what he did. Zaboral, Stralman, they are an interesting defensive pair to watch. The big line to watch for me was DeBrusk, Stud, McLaughlin. They were our second line. They did a lot in the first and kind of tailed off a little bit there. And the Rangers were playing most of their team. They did not have Fox. They did not have Shesterkin, although I believe they were going to have Shesterkin. I believe they were going to have him in, but he had some sort of stomach virus or something, so Halak started for them. That's it. That's the breakdown. Let's talk about this game. And it starts off on a low note. Too fucking easy. And it's guys that are fighting to make the team. They're fighting to make the team. It's the Beecher line that starts. 40 seconds in, the puck is being cycled around our defensive zone. Around to the left, around to the right, back around. And as it's coming around to the bottom behind the net, Rangers jump on it, and Zaboral jumps in, which I think was the right play to try to attack him. He had support in Lauko right behind him. The puck gets moved directly up towards the slot, goes right through Lauko. I don't know what happened there. Stralman is there to meet Kreider. He gets an active stick in the way, but Kreider, being as good as he is, takes the puck out of the air, smacks it cross-crease to Zibanejad. Lysell was there, but he was puck watching, and Zibanejad punches it in. We're not even a minute in. It's way too easy, and it was the young guys that let it in. It was that Beecher line that just fell apart immediately. Did that define the whole game? Absolutely not. They were quiet for most of the game. But that's a real tough way to start when this felt like a last chance to be like, are you getting sent down or not? We were all most of us were leaning towards those guys being sent down. It's pretty obvious at this point they need to get sent down. Not off this one play, but it's 1-0 to start. We have a good response, though. 2:30 into the period. Just a minute and a half later, McLaughlin smacks a wrap around as he's coming down behind the net. Same thing, but he keeps the puck moving. Smacks it around. Riley steps into it, grabs the puck, chucks it on net. And again, McLaughlin is there to fight with them in front. Halak bats it away easily, but he creates a disturbance, pushes the puck back into the slot. DeBrusk jumps in. He's flying in. I think DeBrusk has realized something here. And yeah, it's early. Yeah, it's preseason, all this stuff. But I've been seeing him do this so often where he will kind of cycle up and sprint in and cycle up and sprint in, knowing his speed is the most useful attribute he has. So he just tries to create space by continuously moving, which I'm not so sure we've been getting consistently in past years. Either way, he jumps in and buries an easy one past Halak because McLaughlin punched that puck up. I'm not even sure if they gave McLaughlin the assist on this because there was a lot of sticks. It might not have been him who punched it, but he caused the disturbance to get the puck there. It's 1-1, and you got to feel good a couple minutes in because the young guys responded, and once again, McLaughlin was at the heart of it. 7 minutes left of the period, and just a shout out, Stanika, it's the Stanika line again, getting in front of the net, getting physical, creating disturbances, just being involved and forcing Halak to make another big save. This time again, I want to say it was on DeBrusk, but the line had been great early on the entire time. Like just first 15 minutes, that line was crushing it. You noticed every time they were on the ice. 2:47 left of the period. Renouf is going to go for holding. He had a terrible game. Nice defensive play by Zaboral to grab the puck for the whistle, though, to actually get that stoppage. He comes right in, and Zaboral didn't have a great game, but he had a decent one. He started really slow. He comes right in on the Ranger player, who I can't remember at this point, and just gets real physical with him out of nowhere. It was quick, it was strong, and he takes the puck right off of him. Little shout out to him. It's a bummer. We do have a shorthanded bid that gets broken up as we're trying to connect on the 2-on-1. Back the other way. It's a wrist shot from the middle of the blue line. And Zibanejad, who, yes, you can have a body here, but the structure is the box. You're not typically going to have a body on top of this guy. It's just a perfect tip below Swayman's glove. There's not much you can do about it. That shot from the point was easy to tip, though. It was soft. You would have liked to see someone challenge that a little more. Beats Swayman low glove 2-1 with just a couple of minutes left. And then 45 seconds left of the period. Zaboral has the puck on the left side coming up the neutral zone. We have multiple guys standing in front of the bench trying to change out. There's a miscommunication. Zaboral keeps skating up, collides with another Bruin player who I'm not entirely sure who it was, but it goes back the other way. Kakko has all year to have a breakaway here and ends up beating Swayman with a little inside-outside dipsy doodle. 3-1! 2 goals in the last 2.5 minutes against. That's not good. And the worst thing here was that the Krejci line was non-existent in the first. Just non-existent. And in my head, I'm like, all right, well, first game back with Krejci and Pasternak working together, and Zacha's there. We don't know what we're getting. Maybe a little bit of a bad open, but it'll be fine. But in my heart, I'm like, shit. Why do I not remember a single shift these guys were on the ice? And I tweeted about it. And they reacted in kind. 36 seconds into the second period, Zacha breaks up a blue line pass that was granted too soft, but then uses his speed and his body to block away the defender, gets ahead of him, and just, this is a bullet of a wrister. Glove side, beats Halak cleanly, 3-2. We're not even 40 seconds into the period. Good start. Cut the lead down to 1. 12 minutes left. So we're now 8 minutes into the period. And Zaboral, this is a favorable call. We didn't get a ton of them this game. Neither side did. There was a bunch of bullshit that was happening in this game. Zaboral chucks the puck from our zone down the left wall with enough force that it loops back up to the right. The Rangers are playing like this is going to get called icing, but no one's actually going to the puck. Goes all the way up to halfway up the right side of the wall in the offensive zone. Zacha gets there first because he didn't give up on the play. Punches it up towards the blue line where Krejci is just ready. And this is a no-look, tape-to-tape to Pasternak, who also didn't give up on the play. At the bottom of the left circle, sharp angle, knee down, one-timing clapper that beats Halak. 3-3. So midway through the second, we tied it up at 3, and in 10 minutes, that Czech-Mate line is combined for 4 points. Not bad. Not bad at all. 40 seconds later, Renouf again is going to go to the box for tripping this time. We kill it. 1 minute after we kill that, B's for too many men. We kill it. 4:14 left of the period, and your boy's getting pumped because Zacha in the neutral zone collects and retreats. And it pulls the defender towards him, and it freezes the defense because they all kind of took a step. And we're like, wait, what? Zacha uses that time and space to chuck it up to Pasta, who's streaking down the right side, and he toe drags the shit out of his defender. Krejci is over to the left. He comes across as just I got my body in front of the defender. Krejci still isn't fast, everybody, but he controls his space. And so he's in front of his defenseman, and it's just an easy, short cross creaser. Krejci gets enough on it. Halak gets a big piece of it, but it trickles over the line. And before this period is over, it is 4-3. We took the lead with 3 goals off the check line, up to 7 points for those boys. Yeah, baby! Our second line is going to be better than our first, and it's going to be so much fun until Marchand comes back. And even then, so maybe. I don't even know. God, what a great game this was. 11 seconds later, Riley gets called for what I would consider a phantom high stick. They even it up shortly after 40 seconds into the power play. They're going to call Panarin. Nailed it. They're going to call Panarin for what is a very clear retaliation penalty. Wagner comes in, gets him a little high, and Panarin just whap on him. And the broadcast is like watching the video play with us, and they're just going, I just don't see anything there. And I'm watching Panarin two-hand wags, and I just don't know what they were looking at. So it's 4v4 for 122, 5v4 for another 38 seconds after that. No dice on any of that. Something to point out, though, crazy moment, because you never see these. Panarin receives a gift of a cross-crease pass. Swayman is literally, he lost the puck for a second here. He's out of the net. And Panarin shoots it wide. I mean, seriously, look at this. He had all day and a wide open net. That's some tough titties. That's some Bruins hockey right there. 4-3 to end the period. There's 52 seconds left in the period, and we are going to benefit from a very weak roughing call in Trouba. He knocked down Pasta, and I didn't see anything. But we're going to start the next period with about a minute on the power play. We don't do anything with it. 7 minutes in, it's a real bummer because they're going to even it up. It's a little squeaker from the point that gets through Swayman. Swayman was just in a battle in front of the net and lost his stick from, I want to say, Lafreniere. Nothing to call, I don't think. It was just a scrum of players. But you still got to lock that up. It goes through the legs, squeaks through. Swayman doesn't realize it squeaks through. And I don't know if Kakko was credited or not. It looks like he gets the final touch to push it in the net. Looks like it was going to go in the net anyway. But it's 4-4. And we have a tie game with 13 minutes left. And I am in it. And it's a preseason game. It's preseason. And I'm in it. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. 7:48 left. This is a coming out party for Riley, I tell you what. It's a nice transition to get into the zone. Pasternak has it on the high left circle and is just going to shovel it to Riley coming late in. And again, we've really looked for those late trailers a lot this game, and I wonder if that's a message that we're getting. I know it's not outside of Cassidy's system to look for those trailers, but it does feel like the defense are getting utilized quite a bit more, at least early on. Riley comes in, he's got space at the top of the slot, wide open, loads up for a clapper, and pauses. I mean, the Time Lord, Krejci, is on the team, and so you got to imagine that has effect on everyone else. Maybe Krejci just froze time there for a second and then unleashed Riley after the defender went by him because he pump fakes the shit out of the guy, goes around him, and this is a wrist shot at that perfect diagonal angle as he's just crossed into the right circle and beats him high blocker. I don't think it hit post, but man, it was close to posted in. And that's your game-winning goal, 5-4 right there. They sniffed the net a couple times. They empty their net. We don't score on that. I hope that's not a theme again. 5-4. Just a barn burner of a game. Wicked fun. We should have been outclassed for most of our lines because they played a hefty amount of their starters, and we had the Krejci line, which, yes, is a top 6 line, great. And then our next best line was DeBrusk, Studnicka, McLaughlin. That is not a team that should be that competitive against most of the starting Rangers squad. It's a huge win for us, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to take that all day. Game notes. If I had my way, that fourth line would include Stud and McLaughlin, and it would have Nosek on the left side. Even though Nosek's looked terrible, I'd still rather have him than Foligno at this point. That's just what I'm saying. McLaughlin has absolutely bullied his way to be part of this team. Stud has been good in the faceoff dot, although I don't have his numbers from tonight, but every time I feel like he kept winning the faceoff. Sometimes the eyes will trick you, though. I have no issue with what those two players are bringing, and I'd rather have what they're doing right now over Wagner and Nosek and Foligno. And that's a really easy decision for me. On the negative side, Liesel and Beecher absolutely need AHL time. And there's nothing wrong with that. It might not be a lot of time. It might be 40 games. But it might also be a full year. And that's fine. Because right now, not a lot of room for them. And next year, there's going to be a ton of room for them. We have 1,000 contracts coming off the books next year. There's no reason to rush these guys unless we genuinely need help scoring. And right now, they don't offer enough scoring help to offset what defensively is not two amazing players. I think they're good. I think they're NHL players at the end of the day, and they will be NHL players. They need some more time. They need to improve. And that's not a big deal. The Czech-Mate line. God, I really enjoy that name. A lot of people were saying it during this game, and I just really enjoy it. They combined for 8 points. I mean, they all scored a goal. They all had at least one assist. I'm so excited to watch this line all year. And even if Zacha is not on that line to start, it's fucking Hall, which is an improvement. Oh, how lucky are we? Who is more fun than us? Who is more fun than us? No one is the answer to that. Oh, I'm so excited. Does beg the question, with how good that line looked tonight, do you just toss Hall up there with Bergie if he's back in time? Like, do you put Hall up there and not put him with Krejci? Because I don't like Krejci's complaining about how it looked right now. And without Marchand, there's a real question about if Zacha, Bergeron, DeBrusk is going to be a good line. And it looks pretty fucking obvious that Zacha, Krejci, Pasta will be. So maybe you just chuck Hall up with Bergie and just see how that goes. That's a lot of facilitators with DeBrusk as the trigger man, but I'm interested to at least try it. I'm interested. Swayman wasn't 5 goals bad, but he also wasn't even close to what you'd expect from him. He had 2 goals that I certainly wouldn't expect him to give up. He had 3 that he was left out on an awful island for. So I'm not really sitting here going to nail him to a piece of wood or anything, but I'm really... That wasn't the last impression you wanted to leave in the preseason if you want to start game 1. So... I mean, that is what it is. It'll be an ongoing goalie battle. I'm not too worried about it. It was a weird game, and we'll chalk it up to that for me. Anyway, guys, that does it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. One more game in the preseason, and then it's time. It's finally time. I think it's one more game. And then it's finally time. I'm so ready. I would forego the last game at this point. I'm ready for the regular season. Let's make it happen. Go Bees!